Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at this product here. This is the Andeman Level 2 32 amp portable EVSE for your vehicle with the J1772 handle on it. And we're going to be diving into this product today, doing a quick open boxing, taking it down to the garage, doing a thorough test on it to see how well it works, and then we'll be seeing if this is the right charger for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned. We're coming right back at you. All right, everybody, welcome back. So Paul here with another product review, and this one is from Andeman, and I've done a product review in the past with Andeman, and they've sent me a level 2 charger for the garage, but that was a hardwired charger. This, on the other hand, is a portable charger. So this is a level 2 NEMA 1450 plug to be either used as a primary charger in your garage or possibly to take it on the road with you if you have a place that you're going that has a NEMA 1450 plug for you to utilize. So this is a portable 32 amp level 2 EVSE J1772 handle on it. And we're going to dive in today, take a look at what you get with this, and then we're going to see how well it goes through our stress test after using it for multiple weeks. So let's go ahead and dive into the box here. And it's a pretty standard box, as you can see. Right across the front, it just shows that it's an EV portable charger. It's an Andeman. The model number is HS-32N. Has some information on the side. Looks like it has an ETL branding and also an FCC branding. So pretty standard. That's pretty much everything that's on the box. So let's go ahead and dive into the box here, see what we get. So let's go ahead and do this. Perfect. All right, let's get this out of the way. So here we are. Here is the Level 2 EVSE. So here is the bag that it comes in. This is quite a large bag, actually, so I wonder how big this EVSE actually is. So let's dive in, take a look. Got a couple of zippers here. Let's go ahead and continue to open this. All right, and here it is. Here is the Andeman Level 2 EVSE. So once again, this is a portable EVSE. It's designed more or less to be taken with you on the road. If you know where there is a NEMA 1450 wherever you're going, this is a really good solution to, you know, taking it with you, being able to charge relatively quickly at wherever your destination is. And of course, you could use this as a home charger as well if you really like to. So over here, it looks like we have some instruction booklets here. We have some anchors, some screws. So very nice packaging there. We'll look through that in a little bit. Over here, it looks like we have let's pull this out. So here is a wall mount. So once again, I really like to see these with mobile chargers because a lot of people will use one charger for their primary charger in their house, and then they'll take it on the road with them. And so when you have that luxury of being able to multi-use a charger like this, you're not investing as much money, right? A lot of EVs nowadays don't come with EVSEs anymore, level 1, level 2, regardless. They don't come with the EVSE anymore. So this does come with, you know, a base here, so you can mount this base to the wall, slide your charger in, plug it into the NEMA 1450. You now have the ability to cradle your charger when you're home, and then when you need to go, you just unplug it, pull it out of the cradle, take it with you in this bag. So really nice to see. All right, so this is good to see as well. So this is actually a holster for the J1772. So I like to see these included as well because these actually go a long way in my opinion. When you need to really just holster real quick your charging handle, the charging gun, and you want to just holster it and then go, these are great for that. So you're not just like wrapping the cable around and then letting that dangle over the edge there, and then possibly it can get knocked off, or, you know, obviously with it being exposed, if you have exposed pins from the J1772, you know, obviously that's not always good. So I like to see that they include a nice holster for that as well. So let's dive in a little further here. It looks like we have our NEMA 1450 side here. NEMA 1450, looks like ground is up, which is fine. I like that. Here we can see the actual Andeman charging unit right here. And over here we have our J1772. So this all looks good. Let me get this out of the bag here. We'll get it out onto our table, and then we'll dive in and see what we get with this. All right, so you join me back now here with all of our stuff laid out on the table. So once again, we have our bags of screws here with some anchors. Now those are to be used for the aforementioned holster for the actual charger, the EVSE, which will just basically slide in, you know, like that. So this way you just mount that to the wall, and then the EVSE will just slide into that holster there. You also have the gun holster here, or the charging J1772 handle to plug into that. So this way this will mount to the wall, and then you plug that charging handle straight into this for that. It's also a cable wrap as well, which is really nice. So they give you all the included hardware to mount those and get those situated on your wall, which is really nice to see. Once again, we have our instruction manual here, which was very nice. It's in color. It does have some specifications, which I'll go over real quick. So once again, it's 240 volts. It looks like it has adjustments between 10 amps, 16 amps, 24 amps, and 32 amps, up to 7.6 kilowatt max. It has a 1.5-inch OLED display, which is always nice. It gives you just a little bit of information. Sometimes it's nice to have. It looks like it has a NEMA 4 rating for outdoor, which I looked up is equivalent of about an IP66. So this is rated to be an outdoor usable unit as well. So if you wanted to take it on a trip with you, and you happen to come someplace that has a NEMA 1450 outside, you can rest assured that this will handle any type of weather that you throw at it while it's outside, which is really nice to see. It has some safety protections in there as well, which is really good to see. And of course, it goes over a little bit more about the unit and all the features with it, which we'll go over, of course, with you as well. So once again, taking a look, it looks like we have roughly a 2-foot pigtail from the NEMA 1450 to the Andeman unit itself. And this claims to have a 21-foot charging cable. Now, typically when I see those, it's usually 21 feet from the NEMA plug down to the very end of the charging handle here. So we'll measure that to get the exact measurements of that 21 feet, because sometimes that's really important, whether or not it's 21 feet or really 19 feet once you take out the NEMA pigtail there, or less sometimes. So yeah, we'll take a look at that, see how long the cable actually is, and let you know about that once we do our tests down in the garage. We have our J1772 handle here, which looks pretty familiar, very similar to the one that they had on the other charger that I had reviewed. It has a nice action here on the release here for the J1772 side, so very nice. I like how it's mostly hidden underneath of the plastic of the handle, so it's protected as well. It does include this nice little dust cap here, which is great for when you're traveling with it, when it's inside the bag. It's not going to potentially damage any of the pins that are inside of the charging handle, so really nice to see that included as well, tethered onto the end of that cable. So, and then here we have the Andeman unit. So it's a pretty light unit as far as I can tell. It does have that 1.5-inch screen on the front, which is nice. We'll see a closer up look of that later on. It also has some buttons on it, so it does have a timer button as well, so you can delay your start. So let's say you get home from work at 5 o'clock, but you don't want to start charging till 9 o'clock because it's off peak. You can say, I want to delay my charging for 4 hours, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the charger will start 4 hours later. So you can do a delayed start on these chargers as well. Other than that, it doesn't have any more functionality as far as scheduling, just delay starting, which is okay. Looks like we also have a button here that selects the amperage. So this way you can very quickly change your amperage. Once again, you have those 4 selections of amperage, so anywhere between 10 and 32 amps is what this supports. And it looks like we also have some sort of charging light, which once again, we'll see close up once we get down to the garage. So that is pretty much the quick unboxing and taking a quick look at the Andeman Level 2 NEMA 1450 with the J1772 handle. Now let's dive down into the garage, plug it in, use it, and see how well this charger looks. We'll get some close-ups of that charging screen as well and see what data it shows us. All right, let's head down to the garage. All right, everybody, well, you join me down here in the garage now, taking a look at the Andeman 32 amp level 2 mobile charger here, or portable charger, whatever you want to call it. And so we are going to now put it through a test to see how well it does here in the garage. So right now we do have it mounted to our wall here with the included mount, which is nice. We have our cable wrap and holster up here on the wall. So as you can see, the cable is wrapped pretty good. And I will admit, this cable is actually pretty nice. It's not too thick, so it's not very difficult to handle, which was nice to see. So I am pretty happy about the cable. Of course, it's only for 32 amps, so you don't really need a very thick cable on 32 amps, but it's at least nice to see that the cable is pretty useful as far as trying to wrap it up into loops and get it you know, where you want it, basically, especially when you need to put it back into the bag to travel with, because that's the whole point of a portable charger, right? So we do have it plugged into our NEMA 1450. We do have our two buttons on here, as I mentioned before. So we have the A button, which changes your amperage, which goes from the 32, 24, 16, and 10 amps. So you can bring it down to 10 amps if you'd like to. We also have that delay button, which allows you to delay charging for up to 12 hours. So you can either have it from 0, so when you plug in and it starts charging, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours in hour increments, as you saw. So now that we have this all situated here, what we're going to do now is take this, we're going to plug it into the vehicle, and we're going to be plugging it into this 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E for a 3-hour test. So what we're going to do is plug it in, and we're going to take temperatures of the handle, the cable, the unit as it's charging before and after to see how those temperatures go up. Are they in the expected range? And it's very hot today and very humid, if you can't tell. I'm sweating out here because of how hot and humid it is. But we're going to be putting this through a pretty good test today for at least those 3 hours. And then after those 3 hours, I'll be using this as pretty much my dedicated charger here in the garage for the next week or two to see how it holds up just during normal everyday usage to charge up our 3 electric vehicles. All right, so in the meantime, let's go over a couple of things on the unit itself. So on the screen here, it's a 1.5-inch LED screen that it comes with it, which is really nice. So in the top left corner, you do have a temperature, so it must be like an internal temperature of the unit itself. So right now it's at 32 to 33 degrees Celsius, and that is a nice indication to have because at least you know when you're plugged in and charging, you can kind of see where those temperatures are going to be. It also has our amperage in the top right corner. Once again, as you hit that button there, it cycles through those amperages, so it's really easy to see. You have your voltage coming into this charger, so we're at 243 volts. It shows our amperage, so once we get it plugged into the vehicle, we'll see our amperage going into the vehicle as well, or at least the amperage coming through this charging unit. And then we see kilowatt hours, so it will show you a kilowatt hour for your session. So if you charge up your vehicle with 20 kilowatt hours, it'll show you that on the screen, and then that'll reset in between every single session. So let's go ahead and get over to the vehicle now. Let's plug it in, see how it feels, and we'll start our charging test. All right, everybody, well, you join me now here next to the vehicle with our J1772 handle of the Andeman EVSE. And the one thing I forgot to mention in the previous clip was that the length of this cable from the very end of the J1772 connector to the bottom of the EVSE is about 18.5 feet, give or take. And then from the charging unit up to the NEMA plug, overall, in total, you're looking at about 20 feet, 20.5 feet roughly. So maybe just a little shy of that 21 foot. So we got our J1772 connector here. We're going to go ahead and plug it into the vehicle. We're going to see how this feels. We're going to take some base temperatures. Then we're going to charge up for 3 hours and see how that charging goes. So let's go ahead and plug it in. A little stiff going in, actually. Let's go ahead and pull that back out. Let's take a look at this. Try that again. Okay, so we did have to do a little bit of a lift to get that latch to latch into the Mustang Mach-E here. So a little interesting. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to just do this real quick. We're going to... Interesting. Very, very interesting. So this doesn't feel very stuck. Let's try this one more time. See, that felt real good. That feels like it went in properly. So sometimes the first couple times that you plug these in, they do kind of find their groove. Obviously, as things kind of wear out a little bit as far as the plastics go, they can start to fit better into the vehicle. So let's go ahead and charge up for 3 hours. Let me take the time real quick. All right. So we'll be back here in 3 hours to see how this goes. Let's get some baseline temperatures.
All right, just starting our charging session here. As you can see, our elapsed time there is over 40 seconds already. Looks like we are now ramped up to just about 32 amps, 31.5 amps there. And let's just take some baseline temperatures just so we know. It's basically going to be just ambient. It's about 86.5. That's about 88 coming into the unit. Let's do right around there, about 87. And just to get an idea on the handle here, about 87. So yeah, like I was saying, it's pretty warm out right now. So as you can see, ambient temperature outside's very, very warm. So, all right, we're gonna let this go for 3 hours. We'll come back and see how well it works. All right, everybody. Well, you join me back 3 hours after we've started this process of charging up the Mustang Mach-E with this Andeman portable charger. So I know it's been 3 hours. I made sure I double checked, but it's showing that we are about 2 hours and 50 minutes into this. So I think there might be something off with that timer a little bit, because I know for a fact that we are 3 hours into this charging session at this point. So I don't know, a little weird, but as you can see here, we've delivered 23 kilowatt hours to the vehicle in just about 3 hours. We're still at about 32 amps there, 242 volts. We are now up to about 80 degrees Celsius inside of this box. So as long as it stays inside the box, we should be okay. Let's go ahead and take some temperatures of all of this before we unplug, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so let's start from the plug here. So let's go ahead and take shot of this. Is about 95 degrees on the plug, keeping in mind that right now ambient temperature outside's got to be about 90 degrees. It is a very, very warm day today, and yeah, it definitely shows right now. So let's see if we can get some temperatures here. So about 102 on the cable here. Let's check at this side of the cable. Yep, just about 119 degrees, 120 degrees. Wow. Yeah, it is a little toasty here. I noticed that a little while ago. I was touching it. Nothing that I would be concerned about yet. I think we're still within that realm of, you know, perfectly fine. Let's get a couple off the charger itself. So about 100 degrees on the actual casing of the EVSE. Once again, inside of the unit, we are much, much warmer. As we could see, we're still kicking around 80 degrees Celsius there. So let's go ahead and get this cable here. 111, 112 at the end of this cable right here. So that's pretty good. And let's follow this over to the vehicle itself and get some off the actual unit here. So about 98 degrees on the handle there. 99 on that side of the handle. About 99 on that side of the handle, so pretty consistent throughout. Let's get right on the charging cable here, about 105. Sorry about the glare there, 106, yep. So that's looking pretty good. Let's get actually on the handle here as well. 95, 96, 94, 95. Yep, okay. So pretty consistent throughout. Let's do just a quick touch test here of the handle. Nah, not even close to being warm to the touch where you would be concerned about it. Even here on the cable, you could definitely feel it's warm here, but not too hot where you can't hold it, obviously. So yep, still pretty good.
All right, everybody, you join me back now next to the Mach-E 3 hours after we've started this test, or 2 hours and 50 minutes according to the charger over there. Whatever one is accurate, that's what we're going with. And I know for a fact it's been 3 hours because I checked my watch. So we have our J1772 plug plugged into the vehicle. We have our lights blinking to show that we are actively charging. At this point, what we're going to do is basically just test this. Now, we kind of already tested it before when I unplugged and plugged it back in, but we're going to go ahead and push down on this button, which should disconnect charging. So immediately from pushing this down, we should see this disconnect. Let's see. Yep, disconnected immediately. Let's go ahead and unplug this. Okay, a little tight, but once again, that's something that will probably wear down a little bit over time, so I'm not really too concerned, but it is tighter than some of the other J1772 handles that I have used in the past. So interesting, but successful. All right, so at this point, what we're going to do now is utilize this charger over the course of the next couple of weeks. We're going to use it for multiple vehicles, see how it works, see how consistent it is,
and see if we have any issues with it. So we'll see you back here in a couple weeks.
All right, everybody. Well, you join me back now here 2 weeks after utilizing the Andeman Level 2 NEMA 1450 J1772 handle EVSE here in my garage. So 2 weeks using this as our primary charger for charging up our 3 vehicles here. So we have one Tesla Model 3, our Mustang Mach-E, and we have an old Fiat 500e. Every car charged perfectly fine utilizing this EVSE with this J1772 handle. Now, the only thing I will say is that this is a little bit tight going into the vehicles. So this J1772, as we saw in the previous clip of me plugging it into the Mach-E, does go in fairly tight. So I think the tolerances on this are maybe just a little bit too big compared to what they should be. And even so, going into you know, an adapter for a Tesla, the J1772 to Tesla or NACS adapter here, even going into one of these adapters, it's kind of tight going in. So you do have to provide a little bit more effort into pushing this in the vehicle and even taking it out as well. So there is a little bit of those tolerances at play there that probably could be fixed up just a little bit. But other than that, the functionality of the unit itself worked perfectly fine for those 2 weeks, no issues whatsoever. I think it's a pretty nice charger. I think considering that this is technically a mobile charger or a portable charger, I think it fits the bill pretty well, right? You don't want to be lugging around a huge heavy unit, so this is a fairly light unit, but it can also pack a punch, right? You have up to those 32 amps of charging power with this unit, which is very decent if you're going out someplace and you're just stopping at somebody's house and you're able to plug in, or you happen to be at a place where that you have a NEMA 1450. This seems to be a perfectly fine solution for that. And of course, if you're interested in this product, you can take a look down in the description below the video. We'll have a link for this product. It'll bring you right to this product, so you can take a look at it even more in depth and see if this is the right product for you. I'd like to thank Andeman for sending me out this charger here for review. Once again, I think it's a fantastic charger, and I think it'll work well for a lot of people depending on your situation. And of course, I'd like to thank all of you for watching this episode here today, and we'll see you on the next one. And remember, welcome to the future, and welcome to Tech Motoring. We'll see you soon.